It's snowing outside, and Spider-Man is inside the sanctum sanctorum, standing in front of Wolverine. Spider-Man asks, "Hey, Wolverine, is this your fruit loot?" Wolverine, without answering, starts chugging beer from his bottle. Spider-Man murmurs to himself, "Didn't think so." He then picks up the fruit loot box and starts reading the nutrition values, asking, "Think anyone would miss a bowl?" Wolverine, who's sitting in a chair reading a newspaper, glances at the table and replies, "Don't know." Spider-Man asks again, "Think anyone would miss the prize?" Wolverine responds, "I ain't ratting on you. It looks like you've got bigger problems than that." Surprised, Spider-Man asks, "What do you mean?" Wolverine shows him the newspaper with a picture of Spider-Man on it, along with a headline, and asks, "There's something you want to tell your teammate, big guy?" Spider-Man slowly shifts his gaze from the fruit loot box to the newspaper and hesitates before saying, "Hey, listen, you don't think, I'd never..." Wolverine places the newspaper on the table and, picking up his bottle again, reassures him, "Relax. I know you're not a killer. You don't have it in you." Spider-Man pulls his mask up slightly and reaches into the fruit loot box to grab a handful of cereal, replying, "You say that like it's a bad thing." Instead of answering, Wolverine takes another swig of beer. As Spider-Man digs through the cereal, he pulls out a cat toy and, smiling, says to Wolverine, "And that, Wolverine, is why we don't team up more often." Wolverine, watching from behind, asks, "You sure it ain't 'cause you don't like asking for help?" Spider-Man responds, "That's a deep personal insight from a man having beer for breakfast." As Spider-Man eats the fruit loot, he jokes, "You're not exactly shattering Canadian stereotypes by the..." But his sentence is interrupted by a voice saying, "There is wisdom in Wolverine's words." Spider-Man completes his sentence with, "Way," and turns around to see who it is. He finds Dr. Strange standing there. Spider-Man quips, "Isn't it a little early for levitation, Doc?" Dr. Strange replies, "I am the master of mysticism 24 hours a day, Spider-Man. Just as you are an Avenger, secretly or otherwise, we must help each other." Turning back, Spider-Man says, "Look, I've got no problem pitching in when the Skrulls attack or whatever, but I can handle my solo career. Some things are just my problem, my responsibility." Dr. Strange, deep in thought, touches his face and responds, "Very well if you're sure my assistance isn't required." Spider-Man says, "Well, I've got 20 blocks to go in this blizzard. If you can make it stop snowing, I'd appreciate it." Dr. Strange picks up a leaf using magic and brings it toward his hand, saying, I will not stop the snow, but perhaps I can tell you when it will cease." Wolverine and Spider-Man watch from the table. Wolverine comments, "Yeah, this is a good use of his time." Spider-Man adds, "I was kind of joking." Dr. Strange starts casting a spell with the leaf. Wolverine and Spider-Man observe closely as Wolverine mutters, "You're using our Sorcerer Supreme as a weatherman." Spider-Man says, "I have a lot to do today." As Dr. Strange continues casting the spell, he suddenly clutches his head as if something's wrong. The leaf begins to rise into the air, and Dr. Strange says, "Yo, the storm comes not from the north, west, or south, but from the void, from darkness. There is no time, the end is near. In blackness dies all we hold dear. From the snow, a threat emerges, eyes of red with murderous urges. A protector fights to seal the lock, right here, tonight, at T4 o'clock." As he finishes speaking, Dr. Strange suddenly faints and collapses to the ground. Wolverine and Spider-Man exchange glances, and just then Wong runs into the room. Wolverine looks at Spider-Man and asks, "Anything else?"